Hello there. We have all heard the phrase, the customer is king. Well, in this video, I will challenge that notion and explore how one company's policy shift that placed a focus on their employees, not their customers, resulted in increased productivity and high overall sales, proving that a customer is not what you should always focus on. I'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Raymond Huan, and if you own a business, you're interested in business, or wish to learn about more on the tips and tricks on how to operate a business better, I encourage you to click on the subscribe button that you see in front of you right now. Sir Richard Branson was famously quoted saying, "Clients do not come first, employees come first. And if you take care of your employees, they will take care of the clients." The global retail industry is experiencing disruptive forces that is forcing many retailers to either adapt to these changes or completely shut its doors. As retailers compete with a market of consumers whose spending patterns have changed over the last few years, stores have been putting a lot of pressure on its sales floor staff to increase its revenue. Retail workers in the United States specifically have what is known as flexible hours. But while flexibility is considered an employee perk, that cannot be said about what flexibility means to retail. In the United States, it has become the industry practice for retailers to hire as many retail staff as they can to ensure that sales and staff levels are optimized at every time. By having access to lots of retail staff, retailers have the assurance that there will be enough sales staff assisting customers at any given time of the day. More staff during peak times and fewer staff during downtimes. To achieve this, managers need to be able to schedule their hours properly, and the easiest way to do that is to hire a large pool of sales staff that they can call on in case activity peaks in the store. It is very similar to the casual pool of labor that we have here in Australia. The downside of this practice is that retail workers get less hours and as a result less pay. Furthermore, since their hours depend on store activity, most of them do not work on stable schedules and are often only informed of their schedules a week at a time. This puts retail workers in a bind, often having to grapple with their changing schedules to meet their schedules for childcare, personal errands, and even struggling and juggling with other jobs. A 35-week study conducted by professors from the University of Chicago and the University of North Carolina, and working in partnership with the retailer, The Gap, showed that changing the status quo benefits both the retailer and the employees without their customers suffering at all. For this study, the researchers worked on 28 Gap stores and divided them into two groups: the experimental group, where managers assign their workers stable schedules, and the control group, where managers are asked to continue their traditional scheduling system. Over a period of 35 weeks, the researchers were surprised at the results, and this is what they observed in the experimental group. One of the things that the study observed was that when employees were given stable schedules, they were more likely to stay with the company. And this was particularly the case for workers who have been with the Gap for a long time. It is easy to plan your personal schedule when you can anticipate your work schedule. It also allows you to plan your activities for the week, month, or even the year. For workers with families, this becomes especially important. Planning out childcare, school activities, errands, etc. is a priority. And this stability was something that their employees really appreciated and an encouraged commitment on their part back towards the company. Workers who have been with the company longer usually have a greater knowledge of the products and the processes, which in turn boosts productivity. They spend less time learning the operations of the business and can focus on working and selling the products. But there is another reason how stable schedules improve productivity. When we have more stable hours, this usually translates to more stable personal lives. Thanks to consistent schedules and planning, we're able to better focus on work. We are also able to better compartmentalize our time and focus our resources, that is, our time and energy, to the task at hand. The period of the study saw an increase of $3 million in incremental sales from the Gap. Their investment into creating stable schedules for their employees, a mere $30,000. And that represented a 100-fold return on their investment over a period of 35 weeks. We help our employees when we give them stability and assurances. We give them less things to worry about, and this allows them to focus on the things that matter the most. And when we take care of them, as Sir Richard Branson would say, they will, in turn, take care of your customers. When we make them feel important, it will be easier for them to make our customers feel important too. And this cycle contributes to the business's overall productivity and extends upwards towards the bottom line. So the question to ask is this: how can I invest in my team in a way that will encourage them to look after my customers better? If you're interested to know more about what a business has to go through when facing exponential growth, you can download the first chapter of the book, From 20K to 2 Million in 2 Years, absolutely free here. This chapter talks about the differences between a good and a great business and puts out questions to make you consider how you can turn your business from good to great. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video very soon.